We just hit 9,000 subscribers earlier today and 1 million views on the channel earlier this week. So here's the giveaway. We're going to do a cool giveaway. 5 gold passes and 1 scenery. One of the people that won the scenery previously had already had it, and so he just said to give it away again. So that's what we're going to do. 1 scenery and 5 gold passes. The way that it's going to work is 1 scenery and gold pass will be given away this video, and then 1 gold pass for the next following 4 videos after this one. All you have to do to enter is be subscribed to the channel and then comment and like on the video that corresponds with the gold pass giveaway, right? So you have a chance to win up to, well, you have an entry for 5. I'll make sure that the same person doesn't win twice, unless it's a scenery and a gold pass, because then I guess you might get lucky. So you can win a gold pass and a scenery on this video and a gold pass for the next 4 videos. And then I want to show you off another insane Town Hall 14 attack, tripling a Town Hall 16. This kid's got 6 brains in his head. There's some things that happen in this raid that, like, I would consider myself a pretty good player at the game, but he's on another level, man. I don't get it. So, Giant Arrow uses a Quake and Lightnings to take out the multi-archer towers and the expos that are there, and he freaking 200 IQs a bat spell to get rid of the eagle. What the flip? I would never have thought of that in a million years. That's crazy, and it actually works. Like, it barely is in range to get that eagle because the multi-infernos are, like, right there. Then he... like, sometimes, like, I wonder if this is kind of lucky or if he calculates this in his head, the way the spiky ball bounces. I'm assuming that he calculates it because of the direction. I'm assuming this is planned and that it's not lucky, right? So you can see the queen's going to get a ton of value up there. Fireballs, bunch of quakes, and then he makes sure that the spiky ball goes to the right. And this is going to get the monolith and the town hall. What the... I freaking get it. Oh, this kid's just got a bigger brain than all of us combined, probably. Jeez. I'll times 2 through the rest of this, because the rest of it is just kind of cleaning up whatever's left of the base. It does get maybe a little bit close, but, I mean, he had a bunch of time left. And, I mean, it really actually isn't as close. There's a few dragons and a couple dragons that come out of the clan castle and a bunch of balloons and minions and stuff at the end. So I guess it really wasn't that. But for a Town Hall 14, attacking up to a Town Hall 16, it's maxed. Supercharged, too, by the way. He was the first person to hit this base, too, as well. So it's impressive. You might be seeing more of his attacks on this channel because they just blow my mind every time I see them. So maybe we'll just have like 1 video a week where it's like a Norman's Big Brain segment or something like that. I don't freaking know. Today, I'm going to show you guys 3 different variations of the Hydra army. I have been attacked a lot by Hydra recently. Let me actually just show you really quickly. In my defense log, there's a Hydra. There's a Hydra. There's another Hydra. And then there's another Hydra down there somewhere. But anyway, I get it like 2-3 times a day, which is a lot in terms of the percentage of armies being used, if that makes sense, right? So let's go ahead. I'm going to show you 3 different Hydra armies. An easy way, a medium way, and a hard way. Spoiler alert, they're all actually easy. It's just the hardest way to use Hydra, but it is a cool way to do it. Let me go ahead and get to the Warlock here. We're going to go back to this clan. Shout out to Ben's Hive, by the way. They're kind of like a rival clan in a way. Not necessarily, we get along, but we come against them a lot for some reason. But this is going to be the first base that we look at. You can see it doesn't get much easier than this. We've got 16 dragons and clone spells. So I guess this is technically not Hydra, but I'm going to call it that just to make it easy. What we're doing here, he's going to use his giant arrow right through the middle of his base here, so he doesn't even get any sweepers or any air defenses. He doesn't need to because, 1, the sweepers are both facing odd directions, right? So he's actually going to spam his dragons out here. And then 2, I'm actually going to show you guys the little tricks as we get into this raid so that you don't have to sit here and listen to me talk the whole time. You would think this would not be a good giant arrow, but it actually works fantastic for him. So he gets a couple of the builder huts, I guess. So really pretty good giant arrow. Okay, let me show you how he deployed his dragons first of all. He put a couple over here, just to clear these side buildings. And then the massive clump he's got in the middle, which is like, what is that going to be, 12 dragons or something like that? And those are meant to go through the base. And he's going to obviously use a blimp and a clone bomb to clear the center, but this is going to create a good funnel for the dragons so that they stay together. And then there's one other thing that I want to point out to you guys. So his approach to the base is, 1, he doesn't want to fight any sweepers. 2, I'm messing up all my fingers today. So 1, sweepers. 2, he's going to funnel his dragons with dragons because his army is 100% dragons. And then the last trick that I want to show you guys on this guy's attack, shout out to Nacho by the way, is he puts the royal champion with the queen. And I want to show you what this does for the queen. Normally people wait a long time in order to put their royal champion down just to kind of see where it is, but the queen has no access to this scatter shot, no access to this expo, no access to this inferno. The royal champion is going to get all of those, and this is going to allow the queen to stay alive a lot longer in the raid and to get the enemy queen. So that's one of the things that benefit there. And the clone bomb was pretty sick. Gets the monolith, gets the core. You can see the royal champion start to work her way into that middle area where the queen would never have reached otherwise, so that ends up working really well. And then he uses the Barbarian King on the outside just up here to keep the dragons all together. And man, I hope that doesn't lag very much on the video. This pen just wrecks my Mac computer. Never get a Mac, by the way. So this is the easiest version of the army. 16 dragons, pretty simple. Don't fight the sweepers unless you can snipe them with your queen. The only reason the queen goes down here is just because of the king, but at this point the raid is all but done. Let's go ahead and just ×2 through the rest of this attack so that you can see how crushed it is. I know I'm going to be showing a lot of replays of my clan getting crushed by Hydra today, but nobody in my clan uses Hydra. So shout out to Ben's Hive for letting me use their replays. I didn't even ask permission, I just stole them. I'm still in their replays. Anyway, that's the easiest version of Hydra, right? Doesn't get easier than that. Let's go ahead and show you the mediumist way to use Hydra. All right, let's take a look at the middle tier, the medium army, right? So on this base, you can see, well, if you look at the army first, you can see he's got an E-Dragon in there. It's the traditional Hydra, and the E-Dragon's purpose is literally going to be to funnel some of these top buildings so that the Hydra doesn't have to worry about them. So the E-Dragon's responsible for those buildings up there. He's going to use his Queen's Giant Arrow to snipe the Sweeper and activate the Town Hall, which ends up being very important, and I'll show you why in a little bit. And then he uses his King with his Queen, and they kind of walk around the bottom. And then when neither of them can reach the Monolith, he's going to use his Royal Champion to help them, and he's going to snipe the Monolith with the Royal Champion. So let's go ahead and push play on this. And I'll show you kind of the little things that he does. So there's the E-Dragon up at the top, going to help clear all of those buildings so that it sets a good funnel for the dragons. He activates the Town Hall, which ends up being very important, and I'll show you that in a minute. All of the dragons and all of the balloons, spamming them down. Pretty easy army still. What happens here is he lands on the tornado with the blimp. Right here. And the blimp's going to go down before it gets to the Town Hall, right? This is a trick you can use if you don't know. Because the Town Hall is activated, he can place his clone spells down kind of like this. And since the Town Hall is activated, the balloons will go to the Town Hall and get the Town Hall instead of ignoring it like they normally would otherwise. You can see them clone right on top of the Town Hall, and he gets the Town Hall. Honestly, ends up being a fantastic clone bomb. And we'll ×2 through here a little bit. This ends up being the medium army. You can see it takes maybe a tiny bit more skill, but it's still a very easy army to use. The E-Dragon's a great idea for helping to funnel on the outside of the base. For the housing space, one E-Dragon is definitely going to be able to clear buildings faster and more efficiently than a dragon would. So that's kind of the thought process behind there. This base ends up getting wrecked too. He uses the Royal Champion. You're going to see in all of these guys' raids, they use the Royal Champion almost to help the Queen or to help the heroes more so than to help the Hydra, because the heroes can't really get over the walls like the Royal Champion can, right? So that's the thought process behind, I think, why you'd want to use the Royal Champion to help the heroes. They're stuck on walls the whole time. They're going to be useless trying to beat through walls the whole time to get those buildings, where the dragons can get there pretty quickly. All right, we've got one more Hydra attack that we're going to look at, and this is going to be the most complicated of the three, but it's still not a very difficult army. All right, here we are with the hardest version of the Hydra army that these guys used, and you can see there's a recall spell there. Let's go ahead. We're going to just push play, and I'm going to talk about it and maybe pause things as this replay goes on, and I'll show you why he does things the way he does. Obviously, if you can, you want to snipe an air defense or air sweeper and an air defense if possible. I think the sweepers are a more high priority target for the giant arrow than an air defense. So he's going to get both sweepers and 2 air defenses. That's honestly one of the sickest giant arrows ever for a Hydra attack. He's going to let his Queen get a little bit of damage here out. He puts a super barb down to help tank for her a little bit, help clear some trash buildings a little bit more quickly. He's going to let her get this multi-archer tower, and then he's going to recall her. And I want to pause when he recalls her and show you what exactly he has set up here. There. So he's going to wait till she's about dead, right? So now if you look at this base, we're going to draw here. This whole section's gone, right? So the funnel on this left side is set, and that's a fantastic funnel. Ideally with your dragons and your dragon riders, you want them to stay compact and tight and clumped up. That's just going to allow them to move through the base more quickly and take defenses on one at a time instead of being spread out and trying to take on a whole bunch of things at once. That's when you see Hydra fail. Anyway, let's go ahead and erase this and push pause again. He's going to put his king over to the right-hand side to start clearing some of these trash buildings. He probably should have waited a little bit longer before he put his queen down because she almost died through the range of the ricochet cannon bouncing off of the king. So that was, he kind of got lucky that she didn't die. Because it was like one or maybe two more shots and it would have happened. Pops the giant or the earthquake boots in that, and now you can see on this left-hand side, that's all gone. On this right-hand side, once the queen's done with the Inferno there, he's got this nice, easy path for his dragons to kind of head up through the middle of the base, and he can blimp this little area too as well, right? So he sets the funnel on both sides using the recall spell, and although, again, this is not a difficult army to learn, this is probably the most difficult of the three. And if you're wondering what army I think is the best, I probably think the potential for these armies goes as follows from like the hardest to the medium to the easiest. I think this one probably has the most potential. It's definitely going to be the hardest to get good with, right? But still not a difficult army to learn. This, you can see his clone spells here in the middle, lands in the tornado. So obviously this blimp still gets kind of wrecked. Really doesn't get very much value, the clone spells I mean. But this ends up still being a triple because of how good the funnel and how good the dragons ended up performing in this attack. He decides to put his Royal Champion on the left-hand side. I think the Royal Champion would have been better on the right-hand side here to help the queen and help the heroes get along in the base further because there's nothing that can really kill this dragon or this dragon rider on the left-hand side, right? So I think that the Royal Champion would have been better on the right-hand side, but either way, he walks away with the triple here. Yeah, I've been seeing Hydra a lot more around like the top 200 in Legend League lately. I don't know what randomly all of a sudden. I think part of Legend League is the meta for bases as much as it is for offense. When people build bases to defend certain strategies, the weaknesses for those bases, the strategies that are good against those bases that are becoming common start to become popular, right? Because it's easier to counter them. And the clumped up bases are kind of anti-Super Witch, kind of anti-Rocket Loon, because it's hard to get your Warden. Like if you clump them up on the outside, right, the Fireball, it's kind of hard to get a better Fireball if the stuff is kind of in the middle. But the Hydra definitely counters the clumped up cores. So that's why I think it's becoming popular. Learn Hydra if you don't know. I'm not going to say why because I don't know. I just have a feeling. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys find that helpful, and we will see you guys next time.